Good morning, Wisconsin. 64 degrees. Nice back to normal weather. We're about to leave, head to Bayfield. We'll be there in an hour and a half. Set up shop. Hang around. We're going to stay 2 nights there. Let's get going. We're getting close. About 28 miles away. And we've got the little beach. Now, I'm not a beach person, and I haven't been to the beach in probably 35 years. We're heading that way. I'm guessing we're going to be staying very close to the beach. We couldn't get a lodge or a motel in Bayfield right on the beach. All in all, there were 24 hotels in Bayfield. 18 of them had all of their rooms with 2 beds booked for the 2 days we're here. And the remaining 6 were $590 per night. We got one that is $196 for 2 nights. I don't know why. Something is going to be very disappointing when we get there because it was way too cheap for that area. It was also, I think, a 5-minute drive from the beach. Also a shared bathroom and no air conditioning. That's some of the reasons it was cheaper. That's all I know about the place. You don't need air conditioning. It's 68 degrees right now. But somebody's in that red car and I didn't see, and they're eating their lunch. Came down there, speed limit's 45, that means speed limit's 55. So we just arrived. This will be a fun little town. It's also not as many tourists as I thought it would be. Bayfield has 514 residents. I could live here, but not downtown. I was also just told by the motel owner that if we drive up to the northern part of this town or this county, we will see wolves, guaranteed. And this is where we're staying, 2 nights, $196 for 2 nights. That place, $1,080 for 2 nights. And that's great because it's only 1 block from Lake Superior. We're going to go down and see if there's some kind of beaches. If there's not beaches here with very few people, we can always go back up to the last one I was just at. That was about 20 miles away. I'd rather go up there and sit on the small beach 20 miles away with no one than on an overcrowded beach here. But let's look around town, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be plenty of space here. Not as many tourists as I thought there would be. And right there's the entrance of town where we just drove into. And now we're going to go to Morty's Pub to get some lunch. And I'll just walk down a couple of streets. A lot of souvenir shops. Native Michigan copper, Lake Superior.
Yes, there is, yes.
T-shirts, always got to have a t-shirt shop. There's a dog that looks like they hung it. This place looks really neat. I just don't know if it's someone's house because there's no sign of like it's a store. And this is where I parked. Across the street is Brownstone Center. Lifestyle apparel, toys, gifts, and yarn. It's going to be tough making videos on these streets because there's a lot of kids walking around. And according to YouTube rules, you can't have kids in the videos. These are the alleyways you go down, and you may or may not come out. I have a feeling in this town, though, nothing's happening. Bookshop. Then you've got Mikey's having his lunch. I ate my BLT sandwich on the way here from last night. And that's a big dog, holy moly. That dog looks like it eats other dogs. And if I walk down here, turn the camera when people are walking by, I see a sign that says burritos. And it looks like it's a few blocks worth of stores, shops, a lot of restaurants I saw so far. So this is going to the room. Not really a motel, there's nobody here. Very small room, but for the price in this area was great. Mikey put some shirts on there. This was an old radio. It probably doesn't work. You got records on the ceiling. You got a record lamp. And Mikey went to the laundromat and the dryer didn't dry off his clothes completely. That's why they're laying all around. But for the price, $196 for 2 days. Shared bathroom, so shower room and toilet, and that's fine for this price. We're here for 2 days. It's nice and quiet. Now we just have the town from a different angle. The Bowden Ski House. Pan Asian Deli. Some of these businesses look like houses. That's going to be it on this side. There's the hotel again. Next door we have a little pizza place. Doesn't look open, but let's see if it is. Sergeant Pepperoni's Pizza. That looks bored. That looks closed. It's all dark inside. And then you have Captain's Deli Spirits liquor store. And I have a feeling that's the direction we will be going. And I did ask 2 people about seeing wolves. One person said you're definitely going to see wolves if you drive out there. And the other person said there's only about 6 or 8 wolves in Wisconsin. Now, I think we all know there's more than 6 or 8 wolves in Wisconsin. I don't think he knew. He may not have been from here. We'll find out. Now we're at the corner. Let's walk down and look at the water. I think it's really lucky that we got the hotel right in the center of town. Pickled Herring Lounge. I don't know this place, it may have been booked. I see boats, I see speedboats, I see big boats, I see little boats. Ice cream and more desert dock. See what's down here. Kayaking. Gifts and souvenirs. And another lodging place. Okay, this is really tough getting video without any kids. Here you have a guy fishing. I'm going to walk down here later tonight with Mikey, so I won't go down there and ruin the fun. So we just walked down to the corner. There's a visitor center there. We asked about the wolves. We're going to be very disappointed. We're not going to see any wolves. They said you're going to see a lot of deer. And there's another side street. Not as many stores as I thought that would be in town. It's mostly all food, ice cream, and motels. And a guy standing on the roof making noise. So you saw a little of the drive, and remember, this was one of the 3 places I wanted to move to. What I noticed during that drive, you didn't see it in the video, but there were houses behind the woods along that road. They were very large houses. I never, in any way possible, could have afforded one of their garages. So I could never have moved here. And that was the part back there that I would have moved to. I wasn't going to live in the center of the city or in the center of the town of Bayfield. But what I would say is the town is really nice. I like it. Not as many tourists as I thought there would be, which I also like. I don't like that back here, if I had, moved here, even if I could have afforded one of the houses, it was even further off the road, like the main road, than what I can get in Alaska, where there's more wildlife. In fact, we did not see a single deer. We can actually go 4 minutes more to the north, but we were told that the road turns into a gravel road, and we did see some gravel roads along the way here, and most of them said only ATVs were allowed. And if we drove 4 more minutes to the north, chances are we weren't going to see any deer. They're not all over the place like everyone was saying. I'm not disappointed. I'm really happy I visited this place. So I lost Mikey. I have no idea where he is. I think he just walked in another direction. He was right behind me. So I sent him a message and I said, I have absolutely no idea where you are right now. And he didn't see the message, so I said, I'm walking down this path. That's a private residence. I don't know if I'm supposed to walk here. I think this is a walking path. Isn't it? I don't know. I'm gonna guess this house would be really expensive even though it's pretty small. And I'm guessing this path is okay to walk on. That's why they made it there. So this is Little Sand Dunes. Or Little Sand Dune. Now me and Mikey want to go back to the beach that we were at earlier today. But there is a possibility I can tell him about this place. And we can also come out here tomorrow. We want to bring lunch out here. Spend a little time on the beach. Oh, I think we'll come out here. This is about 8 miles closer. There's some kayakers celebrating something. Possibly that no one fell out. Okay. I would say we're coming out here tomorrow for lunch. Plenty of beach, no people. Not a beachy beach, but it's beachy enough. And I think we can get over there in some shade. Because I'm not a walrus laying out in the sun the whole day. So I'm calling it a day for today. Tomorrow we're going to spend the afternoon on the beach, and Mikey is going to go on one of these cruises. I won't go on boats. First of all, because I can't swim. And second of all, I'm not paying that much money to go on a 2-hour long boat cruise. And I'm not a big fan of water and even beaches. So I'm not really missing anything by going on the cruise. I mean, I'm sure it's really pretty out there, but I would be too nervous and then I'd just start throwing up, and then eventually other passengers would just throw me overboard. So I think it's best I don't go. But I've shown you probably in this video 70% of the center of Bayfield. And I drove out 20 minutes to show you north of Bayfield. I spoke to a ranger today who was really nice, and she said that homes are extremely expensive, even 20 minutes outside of Bayfield. There's very little property available. She said that many people were buying up property and turning it into Airbnbs, and the city put a ban on that. I suppose what she meant was when you buy a house, you have to sign a contract that you won't rent it out as an Airbnb. But she said if you buy a house now in Ashland, which, if I remember correctly, is roughly 20 miles to the south, then you can get houses really cheap there, because a lot of the federal workers lost their jobs and have moved out, and something like 400 people have left in the last couple of months in Ashland. And as we were driving back from Sandpoint today, I realized that I was in a win-win situation whether I liked Bayfield or whether I hated it. And the reason for that is, if I had really loved Bayfield, I would have said, this is a nice vacation spot, I had a lot of fun, but I like Alaska and I'm going to stay there. But if I hated Bayfield, if it was disappointing, and believe it or not, it was disappointing, and I'll get to that in a minute, but if it was disappointing, I should feel good because I made the right decision picking Alaska instead of Bayfield back, several years ago. So the reason Bayfield is disappointing to me is there are more tourists than I prefer, and I expected that. Also, I did expect to see at least deer here, and the park ranger explained to me today the reason we didn't see any deer. A couple of weeks ago started the hunting dog training for bears, and the dogs are running through the woods training to hunt bears and training to hunt wolves. All the deer, she said, during this period run way back into the woods. They take off to get away from all the noise from the dogs. That's why supposedly we didn't see any deer. The other reason why I was disappointed with Bayfield is I thought the center of town would have a little bit more, you know, maybe some beaches. It's only the boardwalk or the docks, whatever you want to call them, in the center of town. The closest beach is about 6 miles away, which isn't bad at all. And we may actually go to that one tomorrow for lunch instead of back to Sand Point or back to the beach we stopped at on the way here. I enjoyed Bayfield myself. I'm glad I came. I'm glad I saw that it wasn't the place for me. Next spring, don't forget, when I go back and visit my parents, I'm going to stop in northern Minnesota because that was also one of the top 3 places that I was considering moving to back in 2012 when I chose Alaska. What I'm thinking is, now that I'm in Bayfield, Wisconsin, and it wasn't what I expected, I have a feeling Minnesota or northern Minnesota is also not going to be what I expect. So we stopped here because it looked like a beach.
Oh, I'll probably take a picture of the beach.
Mikey's going to take a picture of the beach.
I don't want to take it down to the beach.
You don't want to take it now, he's going to take it to the beach.
I'll take it to the beach.
Let's see if this is a beach, and then we're going to have a beach party.
Look at this tan sand. That's wild.
Please keep the beach clean. That's no fun.
It's almost like quicksand. You're stepping, you're sinking to it.
Oh, there's people sitting there, so we're going to look over here. It is a miniature beach. I have my boots in the sand. There's people there. I'm the only person on the beach with boots. You want to go that way? You want to go that way? I brought a towel. This is a good spot. Nobody and people that should move away from us. And my boots. So we have a sandwich, an iced tea, and Fritos, and disgusting Cheetos, and a pullover for my pillow and my blanket. And I have extra supplies of iced tea and water. And Mikey has a water and a sandwich. And this is Lake Superior. We got out at Bayfield. So this will be the end of the Bayfield video. The next video we should be driving on to Minneapolis and then to Fargo, North Dakota.